Welcome to The Wine Cage. I'm Dylan.
I'm Amanda.
And this week we're doing something a little bit different in that this channel's all about reviewing red wines, but one thing we don't often underline is the fact that most of the red wines that we buy and review are in a pretty low price bracket. We tend to only spend between about $15 and $25, $30. Would you say that's about our average range?
We definitely try and keep it under 25 a bottle, but more than about 15, yeah.
We do actually regularly buy ones that are over that, as a one-off each week, or every few weeks we might buy a more expensive one. But I'd say over 80% of the wines that we review here are under that $25 price point. And so we kind of wanted to highlight that this week and talk about 5 great wines that are under $25 Australian dollars. And these are wines that we have rated an 8 out of 10 or higher. We've had a bunch of bangers, 8s, under that price point. And so we thought it would be possibly useful and interesting to just list 5 of them. And we've got more than that. So this is something that we could do again. But what I decided with this one was to list the most recent 8s. And these are ones where we both agreed that it was an 8 or higher, because we've got some where I thought it was an 8 and Amanda a 7.5 and vice versa. So these are unanimous 8s or higher. So these are really good wines that are quite inexpensive. With the cost of living and inflation and everything, I thought this might be a sort of apropos topic to discuss. So yeah. Without further ado, we're going to introduce each one, and then we're going to cut to some footage from our review of those wines. And if you want to check out the full reviews, I'll post links to them in the description of this video, so you can go in and look at the whole thing. So let's get started. So first up, we're going to go from actually best. Out of the 5 that we've chosen for this list, 2 of them are 8.5s and 3 of them are 8 out of 10s. So this first one is an 8.5, which means it's an absolute banger. I think we've only rated one wine a 9, haven't we?
I think so,
That's that Eldridge Estate. That's definitely not under $25. But this first one is the Darlitz Merlot, and it's from 2022. This is obviously, it's a Merlot. It's rich. It was a beautiful wine. We gave it an 8.5. It just comes into this price bracket in that it was $23.99, but that's the recommended retail. We always list the recommended retail, and in reality, we often get a few bucks off if you've got sort of a club membership with your wine retailer. So often we actually paid a little bit even less than that, but this one's RRP was $23.99. So here are some of our thoughts on the Darlitz Merlot 2022.
Well, again, I think it tastes sort of porty to me, like in a really nice way. It's very spicy, it's a little woody, and to me, it's got a little bit of that port taste, just a tiny bit of that sweetness. It's very rich. It's delicious.
Okay. For me, I have to say I'm not quite getting the port flavors, but there is definitely crossover in our notes. For me, it's dark fruits, jammy, spicy, very woody, heavy, rich, but very good. You have to dig to pull out any specific flavor note on this, because they all blend together so well, don't they? So it's just extremely satisfying. It's classy, confident, good Merlot, just as we were saying, the way the label comes across. Full-bodied, dusty. It's the kind of red you can imagine touring a winery and going deep down into a basement or something full of wine barrels and sitting there and having a glass and, eating spaghetti bolognese or something with.
It's a nice image.
A rich, dusty, experience. That's how this comes off to me.
I know I always look for those dusty experiences.
Yes. Yeah. If you haven't had a really dusty experience, you haven't lived yet.
Our next one is the Residence 2021. It cost us $20, and we rated an 8.5.
And it's a Tempranillo. So it's the Residence Tempranillo.
We were both like wowed when we took a sip of it with our food last night, and it still tastes great today. It's sort of it's very spicy. I think that's sort of the main thing for me, but a very pleasant sort of spicy. It's got that sort of sweet spiciness that I really like in a red. That sort of to me has notes of a really good fruitcake. I know you're not a fruitcake fan, but I like it, and I like it in wine, and very subtle sort of vanilla-y aftertaste.
Yes, I agree. This one absolutely came through. It tastes like a $35 wine, or I mean, this could be a $40 or $50 wine. It's that good. It's really, really nice. It has this beautiful upfront battle between sweet and spicy that is very satisfying. As I say, it's not over the top with the sweetness or anything. It remains elegant, classy, and we've had quite a few wines on the channel that have been good, but we've described as one note. This is the opposite of that. This really has an evolution. It's got a lot of different flavors on the palate. And as I say, it's quite hard to pin them down. They seem to play over your tongue really quickly, and it's just super satisfying.
Yeah.
It's so sweet, spicy, quite dry as well. Hints of chocolate. This one, I would say, actually even has hints of caramel. Once again, though, not lolly caramel, like, I don't know, richer caramel. But yeah, quite satisfying.
Yes.
For number 3, next up, we have the Winton Road Barossa Cab Sav. So from my memory, this was one where I really craved a Cab Sav. I just wanted that sort of area or that sort of middle range of a red. And this one really did not disappoint. It was great. We gave this one an 8. I think I already said it's 2021. And this one only cost $18. At least that was its recommended retail. So very good value. That's the Winton Road Barossa Cab Sav 2021. And here were our thoughts on this one. For me, this one is, as I say, it's got a lot upfront richness, spicy, exotic, quite strong flavor. And then that fades with that hint of spiciness still to it. So I guess the repeating word here is spicy. I really like it, would really recommend it. And at this price, I would 100% buy it again. So yeah, do recommend the Winton Road Barossa Cab Sav 2021.
Our fourth one is the Fulcrum Pinot Noir from 2021. It was $21.99, and yeah, we gave that one an 8. Yeah, here are our tasting notes. Like we've sort of said, it's definitely a lot lighter than most of the wines we've been drinking lately, which is a real breath of fresh air, and that's kind of how it tastes, like a breath of fresh air. It's a very summery, sort of very light kind of wine. I could imagine enjoying this over like a long, lazy lunch.
Yeah, I'm wondering if what you said about the whole presentation of this being aimed at a younger crowd, if that's true, because it does carry a very drinkable, sweet flavor, and not sweet in the negative sense. You know, sometimes if a red has been over sweetened, it really cheapens it and it tastes a bit nasty. This is not that. This is sweetness well placed in amongst a spicy, dry flavor as well. Are you getting that?
Yeah. It's sort of almost a bit strawberry-ish, but not in a gross way, not in a, alcopop kind of way, just in a sort of very summery kind of way.
Yeah, I think that's what I would want to stress here is it does not have that, cheap candy liquor taste at all.
It's quite classy tasting.
Yeah, it's actually really balanced and, we're leaning into the copy on the back of the bottle here because Fulcrum balance, it's all about balance, but they really have nailed it with this one. It seems to just ride ride the balance between spicy, sweet, dry. All of that plays over your tongue as you drink it. And it just has a very subtle, understated, dry finish. I'm not really getting much tartness or unwanted, brightness to it. But it has all of the above, as we said, that sweetness and the spiciness. And I'm repeating myself now. So, yeah. You got any other thoughts on this one?
I just think it's very nice. I'm looking forward to drinking this with dinner.
All right, so for our final, last but definitely not least, we've got the Old Dog Shiraz from 2021. And this one cost us $20. It was $19.99. We gave this one an 8, and I remember we gave it a glowing review. This one's an absolute banger. Shiraz gave you everything that you wanted from a Shiraz. You really enjoyed that one too, didn't you? Well, you must have. We both gave it an 8. But I remember having a good time with that one. So, yeah, that's the Old Dog Shiraz 2021. We gave it an 8. It cost $20. And here are our original tasting notes for it. It lives up to how good the nose was, I'm happy to say. It's spicy and sweet at the same time, like a honey glazed roast potato or something. When food pulls off that sort of nice, interesting balance between spicy and sweet. I was going to say like sugar salted popcorn, but that's kind of that doesn't capture the richness of this. That's why I said, the potato. But rich, full flavored, and some wines we drink, I know you would never really think that a Shiraz is going to be watery, but I feel like some of the Shirazes we've had lately have been kind of light, and sometimes they've had elements of a watery consistency and taste to them. This is the opposite of watery. It's not crazy dense and full of sediment, but it has no watery taste whatsoever. You're just hit up front with rich texture, strong flavor that immediately just fades into a dusty, velvety finish. So that was 5 wines that we've rated an 8 or higher that have cost $25 or less Australian. I think most or all of these were Australian wines, but we do drink international wines as well, and we've got a few bangers that are also quite cheap. In fact, you can get great blends and Grenaches and Tempraníos from Spain and Portugal that are amazing. And these ones you can get for like under $15.
Yeah, there's some great value to be found there.
Exactly. So I think they were sitting a little bit earlier in our list. So if we do another one of these, we'll keep working backwards and go to those because they're still available. We still buy them regularly. Lisboa. Yeah, Lisboa. So we hope that was useful anyway in terms of just shopping for reds. We guarantee that if you go out and pick any of these, you're going to not pay too much and you're going to get a banger of a red wine. So you can't go wrong with those 5. We hope that was useful. If you've had good reds for this sort of price point, please write them in the comments. Let us know. That way we can look into it and try them ourselves, and hopefully they'll end up on a list just like this. Do you have any other things to add?
Oh, now I think we should do a top 5 European wines at some point.
Hell yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do top 5 European wine and make the wine cage just a little bit more international. I think that's a great suggestion. We should do that. But anyway, hope that was interesting and useful. And thanks for joining us on the Wine Cage, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.